Hello, good morning. Welcome again. Today, 14th of October, we will continue now physics. We will switch to physics. In the physics, we have last one chapter is left there, that is calorimetry, chapter number 11. After that, we have a small section on the modern physics. If you look at the new reduced syllabus, in the new reduced syllabus you have this calorimetry, okay, the heat and its unit. This is very important. Then we have got specific heat capacity. You have got some numericals, some simple numericals there. Specific heat capacity is very important, and specific heat capacity and the heat capacity itself. Then we have got the latent heat. So I'm going to discuss today heat. We all know that heat is a form of energy which flows from a hotter body to a colder body when they are kept in contact. Suppose two bodies are there and there is a difference of temperature maintained between the two body, and the heat always flows from the higher body to the lower. Okay, that means from the higher temperature to the lower temperature. Now, so if you see that, the important point here is the unit. Look at this, the SI unit of heat. We all know that the SI unit of heat is what you call joule. Joule. But here we are going to discuss the common unit of the heat, which is the calorie. Okay, if you look at the common unit of the heat, that is calorie, uh, when you suppose when you take 1 gram of water, suppose 1 gram of water is taken here. Let us take one utensil or a vessel, and inside this we take 1 gram of water. 1 gram of water is taken, and let us say it is the heat is supplied to raise the temperature of this water. So the heat energy is there. So you will supply the heat energy, and what we find is the temperature of the 1 gram of water raises by 1 degree Celsius. Suppose the temperature raises by 1 degree Celsius. Then whatever heat quantity, whatever the quantity of heat that you have supplied, that quantity of heat is termed as the calorie. So basically, in the textbook, if you look at your textbook, it is given in page number 261. Okay, it is given in page number 261 that 1 calorie is the quantity of heat energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. And we also know that the SI unit of heat. Okay, so you have got this unit of heat. The SI unit is joule, which is given by capital J, and you have got the other common unit, which is calorie. It is given by CAL. Now there is a relation between this calorie and the joule. It is all given in textbook. 1 calorie is equals to 4.2 joule. 1 calorie is equals to 4.2 joule. So this relation will be used when we solve some numericals. Okay, so the definition you have to write down from the textbook. Okay, and it is given there. It's quite simple. So now we go to the next topic, that is in the textbook we have got page number 262. There you will find the concept of temperature. No need to explain this much. Temperature is the thermal state of a body, which basically tells the hotness, the degree of hotness or the degree of coldness of the body. And we know the temperature, there are three units of temperature: degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. Okay, so these are basically some simple concepts are there, so we are not going to do in detail uh, because we will mostly focus on the important topic here in this chapter, that is heat capacity. This is very important. Heat capacity. So what is the meaning of heat capacity? Heat capacity is basically the amount of heat. We have just explained the calorie. So it is basically same, the calorie. Heat capacity of a body is the amount of heat energy required to raise its temperature by 1 degree Celsius or 1 Kelvin. Okay, so what is heat capacity? It is the amount of heat energy supplied to raise the temperature of a body by 1 degree Celsius. So in the formula, we have got the formula of the heat capacity. This is very, very important from your numericals point of view. Heat capacity is the amount of heat energy supplied. Amount of heat energy or heat energy, you can basically write as heat only. Amount of heat supplied divided by the rise in temperature. So the symbol for the heat capacity, okay, the symbol for the heat capacity is given as C, or we can write it as C, heat capacity. Amount of heat is given as Q, the rise in temperature is given as delta T. Alright, so amount of heat supplied is given as Q, and the rise in temperature is given as what you call delta T. So this is the formula that you have to keep in mind. Understood? Now we have got the units of heat capacity. Okay, the units of, see, this is the heat capacity. In the textbook, I think it is given in the symbol C dash. You can write it as C dash, heat capacity. The units of heat capacity. If you look at the units of heat capacity, so let us write down the units of heat capacity. This is very, very simple. This formula is quite important from an exam's point of view. So write down the SI unit of the heat capacity is, if you look at the heat, it is joule per, the temperature is given as Kelvin, or we can also write as joule per Kelvin, or sometimes it is also referred as joule per degree Celsius. Here we will take the what you call unit as, for the temperature Kelvin and the degree Celsius will be considered as the same unit. Then we also have the other units. Okay, see, other unit is, in place of joule you can write down the calorie, so it can become calorie per Kelvin, or you can also write down calorie per degree Celsius. Then you have other bigger units as well. Okay, so in the bigger units you have got you can write in place of calorie, that means you can use the kilocalories. Okay, kilocalories, or you can also write down more bigger than that, that is mega, etc, etc. So that values, basically it is used for solving the numerical. So heat capacity is the term that is very, very important in this chapter. It is quite easy to understand. So suppose you want to raise the temperature of any substance by 1 degree Celsius or by 1 Kelvin. Okay, then whatever heat you supply, some heat has to be supplied. So that heat supplied in raising the temperature by 1 degree Celsius is known as heat capacity. So it is the capacity. And the formula is given as C dash Q by delta T. Q is the amount of heat supplied. Delta T is the rise in temperature. You have got two units for the heat capacity. Joule per Kelvin basically will be your SI unit, and the common unit will be calorie per Kelvin. Okay, now we will take another topic, that is specific heat capacity. So we come to specific. So here in the specific, one extra term is added, and that will be your mass. Okay, so mass of the body, or the amount of the body, will be added. So the Specific heat capacity of a substance is defined as the heat capacity per unit mass of a body. So here the mass of the body is added. So we can write down like this: specific heat capacity is equals to heat capacity divided by the mass of the body. So the amount or the quantity mass is added here. Okay, and it will be, since the heat is a specific heat capacity is the characteristics of the substance, so there is a mass coming into play, therefore the specific heat capacity will be different for the different substances or the different bodies. So from your specific heat capacity, the symbol that we can use is as C. Heat capacity we can use as C dash, and the mass we can use as M. Okay, so we can write down here C as the only heat capacity. Okay, small c is the specific heat capacity, and mass M is the mass. So now what we can get from here, we can get the formula for the amount of heat supplied, what is the heat energy. So we can get the formula for the heat energy. So let us find the formula for the heat energy. It is quite simple. We have just learned the formula for the heat capacity, which is Q by delta T. So you substitute here like this. Okay, so now you cross product this, so therefore the heat will be C into M into delta T, or we can write down as MC delta T. So this will be the formula for the heat capacity. This is quite important, where M is the mass of the body. So if you see that the quantity of the heat energy absorbed by the body, suppose you take a body A, all right, any body A, and the heat is supplied to the body. Now what does this heat do? It will increase the temperature of the body. So the quantity of the heat energy absorbed to increase the temperature of body, it depends upon the three factors. So we can say from the formula itself, what are the three factors it depends on? Number one, it depends upon the mass of the body. Number two, it depends in the increase in the temperature of the body. And the third, it depends upon the material or the substance of the body, that is the specific heat capacity. Okay, so now let us find the unit of a specific heat capacity. Unit of specific heat capacity. So specific heat capacity, this is joule per Kelvin per kg, because upon mass is there. So it will be something like this: joule per kg per Kelvin, or you can also replace this by joule per kg per degree Celsius. So in place of joule, you can also replace it by what you call, you can replace it by calories. Okay, so now in the textbook, if you turn to page number 263, there is a table there which gives you the difference between the heat and the temperature. There are 6 differences. You have to find out, write down any 3 differences. Then there is also in page number 264 the differences between heat capacity and the specific heat capacity. From there also you have to find out 3 differences. Okay, so now in the next class, basically we will be starting another important topic in this chapter, that is calorimeter. Now what is calorimeter? Basically calorimetry is the measurement of heat quantity. the measurement of heat quantity is called the calorimetry. So it has to deal with the heat, and we have just found the formula for the heat, that is m into c into delta T. What is m? The mass of the substance. What is c? The material of the substance. Here it is a specific heat capacity. Here specific heat capacity means it differs from substance to substance. Okay, then you have got the temperature, increase in the temperature. So the heat supplied is given by this. So whatever you are doing this measurement of heat, how much heat is supplied or how much heat is absorbed by the body, that measurement is the calorimetry. So in the next topic I am going to discuss calorimeter. Calorimeter is the device, is an instrument where you can find out the amount of heat that is measured. So you can find the actual measurement of the heat. So this much for today in the physics. This is just a new chapter. Just we have just started with the concept only, and that is tomorrow we will be starting the calorimeter. Thank you very much.